Me here. How are you guys doing, legends? Today is the 16th of January. In fact, it's the third Thursday of this year. Hope you guys have benefited from this year so far. I'm enjoying this month from all different angles and aspects, mainly also from trading. I shared a few very good trade setups last week on YouTube, but also on Twitter. Hope you guys have benefited from that. Today's main topic is Bitcoin dominance and altcoin season, and we're gonna touch base a little bit on Bitcoin as well. So let's deep dive right now. And by the way, before we're gonna continue, you see that like button, smash that like button for your Jimmy boy, and leave a comment if you have enjoyed this video, because I'm doing these videos for you free of charge, not asking you anything, only a simple like and a comment. So you guys most likely have seen this before, the so-called altcoin season index, and it's telling you now it's not altcoin season. It's now on level 53. I have to disclose and have to be honest, I don't really understand the rationale behind this this methodology, the formulas, the codes, but I do see a few things and I want to share them with you. One, whenever you see a lot of people sharing these dashboards on X or on YouTube, be careful, because when it's altcoin season, it's likely too late to position yourself into altcoins. Normally, I'm a reversal trader, so I love to buy when most people don't want to buy. And I love to sell when most don't want to sell. How you can use this is, you don't want to fade the trend, obviously, but see how short-lived that so-called alt season was here. Very short-lived, very short-lived. This was in 2020, long time ago. Relatively short-lived, but still a beautiful rally. And this was pretty unique. Let's see if it goes even further. And honestly, I really believe that you cannot really compare 2025 and onwards with the previous cycle from many different angles. I will explain that in a bit. So again, TLDR is here. When you see people sharing this, just know that if we're in the middle of altcoin season and you haven't positioned yourself, you're likely too late, and be cautious when you're opening a new position. This is the top performance of the last 90 days. I like how they have visualized this, and you can see also where Bitcoin is. So there are a lot of different coins outperformed Bitcoin in the top 10. I like to see that. There are a lot of different variations of that. You also have this one here on CoinMarketCap. Probably there are like many different variations, but just know you need, whenever you're gonna check them, and everything is already pumping, it's telling you, okay, we're now in altcoin season, just know you're a little bit too late, and especially if you haven't positioned yourself. I myself, I don't believe we're too late. However, I do believe that the altcoin rally we're gonna have will be a very different one, maybe a pretty unique one, especially compared with the previous cycles. So let's check this charts. With the Bitcoin dominance chart, this is the regular Bitcoin dominance chart, and I'm using like several versions of Bitcoin dominance. Many of them are generated by using a simple formula. I will share that with you guys in a bit. So what do we see here? What do we see here? Now we see the obvious. I think we see that the Bitcoin dominance has been, going up for a long time, quite steadily. And this seems to be some kind of exhaustion on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Again, I fully understand this is what I refer to as a a typical meme chart. You cannot really buy Bitcoin dominance, right? You cannot have Bitcoin dominance on your wallet, your ledger. Maybe there are some indexes where you can go long and short based on the Bitcoin dominance, but essentially it's just a representation how strong Bitcoin is against the rest of the market, the crypto market. I believe we are nearing the phase where the Bitcoin dominance wants to take a reversal. I'm also on a daily basis checking the Bitcoin dominance, but without the stables. So it filters out the stables. How you can get this is very simple. Just copy and paste this formula. If you want, let me know and I will drop this in the comments so you can copy and paste, or even better, if you guys want, let me know and I will drop a link of my TradingView watch list and you can add all these different indices, all these different tickers in one click. Here we basically see the same thing, and I believe this Bitcoin dominance is a little bit more clear and more pure. A rejection, and this could likely go a little bit up, but I believe we're really nearing the end phase of this very dominant Bitcoin dominance chart. Just like here, we could even spike a little bit up, but I believe that someday we're gonna see a rejection, and if we're gonna see that rejection and it goes all the way to 52%, honestly, that's already a significant move, and a lot of altcoins will benefit tremendously from such a move. Another Bitcoin dominance chart or variation I often check is this one. This is the Bitcoin dominance without taking into consideration the dominance of Ethereum and stables. Again, if you want to have like a watch list with all these different variations, let me know. I will drop them in the comments for you. This is just a reminder that we had like already multiple small alt seasons, not the classical ones as in comparable to 2017 and 2021. I think really these days are over. I will explain in a bit why. But this is here just a reminder that here Bitcoin dominance kind of topped, as you can see, and it declined. It topped here, end Q4 or end of October, November, and then it declined all the way down here, which is April 2024, last year. This was basically your alt season here. A lot of altcoins performed tremendously. Like it was good times. I can remember these days as the day of yesterday. And then since April or end of March, a lot of altcoins underperformed against Bitcoin. And this chart, it tells you that that was indeed like the case. Of course, it's always very easy to say things in hindsight. But my case, what I want to say is the Bitcoin dominance here dropped again. A lot of meme coins performed quite well. Maybe like the real blue chips, less than I hoped. But if this can continue going to the downside, again, this will create this would indicate a very beautiful altcoin rally. One of the other charts I'm watching is this. This is very simple. Perhaps you see a lot of things here right now on the chart, but let's simplify a little bit some things. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart, like the regular one. I overlaid here the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. And I want to see and share with you actually a few observations. One, the main observation here really is 250 or 260 days after the halving, we tend to see a decline in the Bitcoin dominance and a good spike in the in Ethereum, so Ethereum against Bitcoin. So this yellow line is Ethereum against Bitcoin. We have seen it here in the second halving. This was the third halving, and this is now the fourth halving. And another key observation is maybe you have remembered this from the previous cycles. I'm in crypto too since 2017. I really do not believe we're going to see a similar drop in dominance as as in here. But I do believe that the alt rally will be a very short-lived one. It's not something that will, take, quarters or even, years. Perhaps, 100, 160 days, more or less. And probably also in phases. Just like here in 2017, this was your altcoin season. This was your altcoin season. This was another altcoin season. This data, you need to take into consideration the COVID, but nonetheless, it really played out well, right? The halving, so these vertical lines, they represent the halvings. So what do we see here? Halving, altcoins, not really performing well. And then what we have seen is, this is the first start of the altcoin season. Some consolidation, so nothing much really happened here. Bum, another one. And look how short-lived it was. Sometimes you need to wait years to benefit from 77 days of price action. So this was the second phase. The first phase, actually really, if you take the top here, this is basically like 1 month, and this was 2 months and 1 week, something like that. So this makes me believe that, or let's put it differently, there's a lot of money in Bitcoin for obvious reasons. I believe if we're going to see a classical altcoin rally, alt season, probably it will be short-lived with different phases. And I don't per se think that is something bad. I think it's maybe even good if we see like an altcoin season, like seasons, like multiple, like smaller ones, spread out over a few months. So I believe that we are nearing the end of the very dominant Bitcoin dominance chart, and I really see it declining in the next few weeks, as I believe that this historical data is pretty strong, and it's my main case, my main bull scenario. So why do I think that this altcoin rally will be very different from the previous ones? It's really simple. If you think about it, if you think about it, 2.95 million Bitcoins are now in the hands of publicly traded companies, private companies, ETFs, and countries. The beautiful thing of publicly traded companies is they need to disclose. If they buy Bitcoin, they need to disclose. If they do like a big investment, they need to disclose. So they cannot keep that as a secret. Then you have like the private companies. They purchase also a lot of Bitcoins. And by the way, from the publicly traded companies, it's obviously MicroStrategy who is on number one. And then we have the ETFs. So the ETFs worldwide, we do not limit the world only to the US, although US represent the majority of the ETFs. 1.3 million Bitcoins have been scooped up through the ETFs, and understand that it's not really BlackRock or Fidelity or Fnac, buying, selling Bitcoin on their own discretion. No, they are just facilitating the buying and the selling for their clients. So it's actually their clients. They are buying for the clients. So who are the clients? Well, they are many. They are wealthy, and they have a specific DNA. They're not you and me, or at least they are not me. They're wealthy, and they have a specific reason why they want to have Bitcoin exposure through these ETFs. They do not want to, take care of their seed phrases, for example, right? They are very different from you and me. They likely, they just invested, many of them, 1, 2, 4, 5, maybe 10% into Bitcoin, and not their entire portfolio sits in Bitcoin. So as we speak, This is just BlackRock. BlackRock has 11.5 trillion asset under management. 11.5 trillion. Only 0.4% sits in the Bitcoin spot ETF. So there's still a lot of room to grow. And thus I believe that this number will go up. I believe that more countries will accumulate Bitcoin. I believe more publicly traded public companies will accumulate Bitcoin, also private companies. Now, ask yourself the question, will they, I mean, the companies, the ETF buyers, will they really swap their Bitcoin for silly altcoins? No. Hell no, they're gonna do that. Maybe some of these ETF purchases, they might swap or sell Bitcoin spot ETF for Ethereum ETF. That could be. I don't see that happening as of now. I do believe that this number will eventually go up. I wouldn't be really surprised if at the end of this year this number sits on, let's say like 2 million something. I really wouldn't be surprised at all. So with that said, that's the reason why I believe we're not gonna see a similar altcoin season as we have experienced it, or at least as I have experienced it in 2021 and 2017-18. I think things have really changed. If you think about it, 14% of the total supply is now in the hands of ETFs, publicly traded companies, countries, and so forth and so on. If you even think deeper about it, 3 million Bitcoins are actually dead, as in, people, they died, other people, they don't have access to their seed phrases. So 3 million Bitcoins are kind of, they can't be moved in on-chain. So 3 million. So what does it mean? It means that now there are actually 19 living Bitcoins, 19 million, and 15.5% is now in the hands of the publicly traded companies, private companies, ETFs, and countries. So if you take that into consideration, just know, or be careful and don't think that everything will pump. Obviously, not everything will pump. I believe there are a few key narratives that will pump. I'm heavily positioned into DeepIn, RWA, AI, and meme coins, and that's my current portfolio. I'm still very heavy into Bitcoin, and soon, and I believe really the time's really soon, I will sell most of my Bitcoin and will swap it into some blue chips and some gems, as I believe that the asymmetrical bet this year is in altcoins rather than in Bitcoin. So let's go quickly to the Bitcoin chart. This is my bull case. So what do you see? You see here a lot of lines and things. Don't get distracted. Very easy. What you see here, you see actually a few things. One, the halving, the vertical lines, but also here the cycles. So the cycle is measured basically from the low to the low to the next low to the next low, right? It's not from the low to the high, right? It doesn't work like that. Secondly, understand that the time duration from one low to the next low is 1,420 days. 1,420 days. That's how much time it takes to go from the one low to the next low. And it takes Bitcoin around 1,060 days to go from the cycle low to the cycle high. We have seen it here. We have seen it here. We've basically seen it here as well. And if this is going to play out as previously, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a cycle top somewhere in November, October, let's say like Q4, maybe Q1 next year. Nobody knows exactly. This will not act as a main anchor point for me. So I will not blind myself, because I think we're going to see a cycle high somewhere in November. It doesn't mean I'm gonna sell everything. Probably I've already sold some, but it just gives me an estimation and also how far or early we are in this cycle. Another key observation here is, notice here the vertical lines, these Bitcoin halving events. It takes Bitcoin around, especially since the second halving, 520 days to go from the halving event to the all-time high. We have seen it here, here, and here. And this also tells me that somewhere in October, November, we're gonna see a cycle high. Likely. Now, let's go quickly to the Bitcoin chart. We can see here a lot of things. I don't want to make this video too lengthy, but this is the cycle high, right? This was the low of this cycle. Let's see how many consolidations we had, like how many rectangles do you see? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And this is the fifth one. Important observation. Why? Because I believe all these consolidations, these rectangles here, they're actually a base for the next leg up. Of course, everything is easy in hindsight, but I've been sharing this for a long time and many times. A rectangle that comes from an uptrend, more likely than not, is a continuation pattern. Very easy. Don't overcomplicate things. This consolidation here reminds me to what? To this consolidation here. This one. We had here a highly anticipated event. Who can recall this event? It was the Bitcoin spot ETF, right? We had like a big run up, and then it was basically temporarily, like, buy the news, sell the news event. Small drop relatively. Of course, this was basically one of the biggest drop we had in that cycle, but nonetheless, look how quickly it recovered, and then we entered into a new range. This range here, let me change the colors a little bit. This range here reminds me to this. So what other event do we have here? What other event do we have here? We have FOMC at the end of this month, yes, but more importantly, in a few days, 4 days, Monday, we have a new president, or at least I'm saying we, I'm not even living in the States. There's a new president, Trump, and he seems to be very pro Bitcoin and crypto. Obviously, he is a politician. I don't trust politicians by default. However, I would give him the benefit of the doubt. I do believe that having him as a president is more is better for the market than having someone else. So let's see if he will, if he's going to fulfill his words or not. But I believe once he is installed, likely we're gonna escape this range for newer highs. My target is based on Fibonacci and classical rectangle breakout targets. This could easily go to 120, 130k likely at that time. If that happens, likely a lot of people will speculate that this is the new, that this is a cycle high for this cycle, because every time Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, there are a lot of people screaming about this is a top, because if you do this enough times, at one point you will be right, and that's what people want, right? They want the cloud, they want more followers. I'm more interested in making money, and I'm also very interested in helping you making money, and more importantly, keeping that money. So with that said, if Bitcoin can stay in this range here, it would be a very good environment for altcoins. The second bullish scenario for altcoins is if we're going to see a breakout and then here consolidation, for example, that would be very good for altcoins as well. I'm not sure what will happen first. I have to manage my own Bitcoin position right now. I longed Bitcoin a while ago. I shared this also on Twitter. Not sure if you guys are following me. If you aren't, I would suggest, follow me on Twitter. And as I'm sharing a lot of setups, my reasoning here was, I was waiting for a swing failure pattern, and the market gave me a swing failure pattern. And I was very grateful for that. and I opened the position. Already closed a little bit, but I will let it run. Let's see if it can go to 108K. Beautiful, because the reason why I like swing failure pattern is it's inducing a lot of recency and negativity buy. So from a market psychology perspective, there are not a lot of people want to buy because they think, oh shit, this is, you know, this is lights out. But the only thing what it did was it trapped a lot of traders. It took out these lows here, 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 here. This is a beautiful consolidation phase. Although it was a good setup. If you benefited from this, I'm very happy for you. If you haven't, I would say follow me, and hopefully you will benefit from other setups, because I am planning to share more setups in the next few days and months. Maybe the last chart I want to discuss, I think we discussed a lot for more than 15 minutes. Look, what do you see here? This is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. What do you see here? Obviously, you see this gray line here, but you see also obviously this downtrend. I mean, there's no denying about that. This is a very ugly downtrend, and I don't like it very much, to be honest. But it's the part of the game, and I believe that Ethereum against Bitcoin is actually on track. This is a multi-year SNR level. So how old is this exactly right now? 3,200 days. 3,200 days. So it's pretty significant, if you would ask me. It's now tapping here into this support level. Even it can even go lower. I mean, I was already talking about a potential swing failure pattern here, but it was pretty short-lived, right? We could go even taking out this low, and even then I wouldn't be too concerned, because my main thesis is the Bitcoin dominance often declines 250, 260 days after the Bitcoin halving, because after the Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin is actually the most demanded crypto asset in the market. It's scarce. Everyone is talking about it. I don't believe that Ethereum has that allure right now. It's not that sexy. It's not that it's not the most demanding thing. And also, I do not believe that we're gonna take out this high. If Ethereum could break out, and I think that's the likely scenario, 40% move towards here, like 0.047, very possible. Even moving here, which is like 100% move for Ethereum, that's a lot. 0.068. It's all possible, but for now, it's too early to make these so-called predictions. Let's see how the market reacts, how Ethereum reacts. This is another thing that I take into consideration. I want to see a beautiful RSI breakout. I want to see the RSI on the weekly above the 50 level. So it needs to cross this line eventually, and that would be like the end of this long multi-year RSI downtrend. Also realize that most of the beautiful things, like bullish price actions, price action happens when the RSI is above the 50 level, and do not expect bullishness if it is primarily trading below. As we can see here, this is below the 50 level. With that said, I'm very optimistic for Q1. Hope you enjoyed this video. Smash the like button. If you have any questions, leave a comment. See you guys next time. Bye bye.